Again. Now we have a woman who needs no introduction, but from playing the lead role in Annie to being handpicked from a worldwide search to play the lead role in Miss Saigon, every monumental performance she's given has garnered awards and accolades throughout the entire world. She is indeed an artistic force to be reckoned with.
She's a Broadway star, a recording star, and a bona fide Disney princess twice over. Now, this lady has waved the flag and carried the torch for Filipino performers on the international stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Lea Salonga.
So, what can I say about Tita Celia? In her many years as a theater practitioner in so many disciplines, I mean, I have worked with her from when I was 6 years old, 7 years old. In The King and I, she was on stage at being Lady Tiang. And she was also our costume designer. And so she was juggling very stressful things and doing them both so excellently. I remember putting on my costume as Princess Ying Yaolak. I remember the first day I put that costume on. It was pink. There was gold thread on this sash. And I remember being feeling so beautiful and so pretty. And I think that was the very first time I ever put on a costume that was, in my little kid, point of view, this resplendent, rich, absolutely gorgeous piece of clothing. And it wasn't clothing, it was a costume. It made me feel like a princess. And I just remember always loving putting that on. We would work together for other shows, and we finally became mother and daughter in The Bad Seed. I was 9 going on 10. I remember turning 10 during the run of the show. And I just remember her always being so kind and lovely. Like, she is just such a lovely, lovely woman that working with her, it just left an impression of me that she was always so patient, maybe because she was a mother of so many kids, that being the mom of this one wasn't gonna be so much of a scary proposition for her. I just remember the costumes she would make. I remember how amazing they would make me feel, and just being around her and her calmness. It's like she was always so placid. And she still is an amazing painter. And I've seen I remember that there was a painting, I think, of Tita Joy Virata that she had done. I remember the first time I saw it, I think it was at a cast party. And I pointed to it and I asked, who did that? They said, Tita Celia. Hopefully I'm getting that correct. And it wasn't just that the likeness was so striking, it was also the spirit. Like, she was able to capture the spirit of the person that she was creating a portrait of. It's a gift to be able to do that. One last thing. I remember before I headed off, there were 2 times. I remember there were not exactly Miss Saigon themed parties, but I remember bits and pieces of these 2 parties and they threw fabulous parties at their old house. One party was seeing a bunch of us who were leaving for London, and I remember she gave me a cosmetics case to take with me and use when I headed off to the UK. And I remember her and Tito Doy taking the time to talk to us. Back then it was Vice President Tito Doy Laurel. And I just remember that the both of them, because it was their home and they had seen so many of us through Repertory Philippines' doors, just literally growing up in front of their eyes, that it felt like being in a family home, and that you were being sent off by good friends and people that genuinely cared about you. It never felt, perfunctory. It never felt distant. Um, Never mind that Tita Celia was the wife of the vice president of the Philippines. She took the time and made time to make all of us feel special, and that's something. That despite her busy life, she knows how to make you feel seen. And yeah, I always felt seen by her. And then the other one was before I left for New York. I remember it was in their back garden. It was in a big garden. I remember Menchu Lauchenko singing and Tito Freddy sort of hosting. And I just remember, I just remember those two things. And I think the rest of the night was a blur. Um, but yeah, thanks Tita Celia just for, making this little girl feel so extremely special with the very first costume you designed and made for her, meaning me. And for always being so gracious whenever I would see you, and for always being so kind. I mean, we can all sit here and talk about how talented you are, how gifted you are in the arts, with the costumes, the acting, the performing, with being so active with rep, and the painting and all of that. But you are such a wonderful human being behind all of it that, of course, you're going to be excellent with the arts because your humanity is so apparent that there is no other way for you to be. And I think that might be the highest compliment I could ever pay to you. I love you very much, and I'm grateful that you exist and that you've been such a huge part of my life.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Leah. Thank you for sharing that. It's true.